Attention, bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn. So please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen! Hello, yodelers! We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I am your host today, Peter, with my co-host
Jackie.
And
J-Fib.
And today we're getting a little strange.
Who are you?
Here.
Oh yeah, you're the host.
I'm Peter. I'm the host. I don't do different names when I'm the host.
I'm hosting today.
Give me your money.
Yes, Marvel. Bob's like, I don't sound like that. Today you do.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Prepare for your brain to be hurt like it did with Loki.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or Black Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers. But before we get into spoilers here, let's just do a brief spoiler-free review for those who may not have seen it. By the time this episode comes out, it should already be out on Disney Plus. I heard the date was June 22nd.
Yeah.
So it should already be out by the time this episode airs. So you have opportunity to see it if you have Disney Plus. But what are your guys' gut reactions, non-spoilery, for the movie?
I really enjoyed it. It was surprising. I didn't have much expectation. I'm not a huge fan of Doctor Strange. But
He's not a likable character. Like, he's
No.
not very... Like,
He's a very narcissistic person.
straight to the point.
Yeah. And so he's just not my favorite. I didn't care for the first movie itself. But with all of the characters that they bring in, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. I saw it twice, and they were both good both times.
Okay, J-Fifth?
I think I'm getting to a point with superhero movies where I appreciate what I'm watching, but the stories I'm kind of like, okay, that was okay. I don't mind it. It entertained me, but I'm not getting blown away. You know, the Thanos series kind of like it peaked, and I'm like still like we're trying to recover from those movies.
I agree.
As I've kind of said in prior podcasts, when it comes to Marvel, we're in a rebuild phase.
Yeah.
Like, we're pretty much starting off at ground zero. Because, like, we don't have the base support that we did before. We don't have, we don't have Steve Rogers. We don't have Iron Man,
You're getting new characters introduced into the Marvel Universe that are very popular in the comic series, but they're not the famous classic Avengers.
Are these the ones that pull you in?
Right. And so I feel like this movie in particular was built up quite a bit. When I went into the movie, I had this expectation that, this isn't going to be like Avengers movie. This is just going to be building more backstory for the next big event. And I got exactly what I expected. It was enjoyable. When Javith, you told me before I saw it that this is not a children's superhero movie. This is definitely a hard PG-13 movie, and I would wholly agree with that sentiment.
It's like it's two like Samuel L. Jackson like F-bombs away from being R-rated. Like that's all he needed was something.
There was definitely a couple moments in the movie that made me go, ooh. Ooh.
Right? And like those moments when it hits you, you're like, oh, all right, I would have nightmares and that's why I ask people like, what age would you let your kids watch this?
Yeah.
And
I'm assuming, did you take your kids?
No, we
Yeah.
didn't.
I kind of give that warning. I was all
Yeah.
like, I don't know, be the do the parent thing where it's like, let me take a look at this first.
Well, and the thing is like, my kids aren't the best when it comes to taking them to the movie theater, so I'm okay waiting for that to hit Disney Plus for them to watch that.
Where they can come and go as they please.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we all liked it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
My only big suggestion would be make sure you watch WandaVision beforehand.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one that's really important to really watch beforehand.
agree.
It shows the carrot for what is driving Wanda. Now we're no longer spoilers, right?
We
Well,
can well
We're now entering that
well, it's just saying that like the events that happen in WandaVision are main driving force within Doctor Strange.
All right.
I think that's as not as
Yeah.
spoilery of an answer we can get. So, so for those who haven't seen it yet, go ahead and watch it, and you can tune back in for our review, and you can compare notes. But now we are heading into spoiler territory. Man, Captain America did a surprising comeback.
Oh my
here.
gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Man comes back to life.
Man, I missed that part. I had to go. I guess I went potty during that
No.
scene.
So
They could have brought them in. That's
could've.
one thing.
well, that was a big rumor that
Yeah.
Tom Cruise was going to come in and play Tony Stark.
I heard about this.
That was a
Really?
big rumor that was going to be like his big, because
Didn't they
Richard,
ask him to do it?
I think at one point they did ask him. Well, he was up for the part originally over Robert Downey
But he was
Jr.
going to do Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
I
I think
that
that's
was
what
the
it
one.
was.
He's like, nah, I'm going to do Mission
Mission
Impossible.
Impossible is his
That
thing.
would have been funny and great.
He's like this weird, like, in between of Captain America and like Tony Stark.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and Robert Downey Jr. if he did play like Tony Stark, and so it would have been funny. But he had just at the time around Iron Man did Tropic Thunder,
Tropic Thunder, yeah.
and he played a character was so uncharacteristic.
Very much.
And plus, at the time, he had gone on Oprah, and he did this, like, weird, like, I love you dance, and everyone was like, this is kind of weird.
He went a little crazy.
And, like, he also had, like, his spirituality and his religion that he was a part of.
Right.
I won't name it because
We don't
I don't want to get sued, and, like, they're very powerful people,
They are.
apparently.
Yes.
And so there was a lot of, like, a light was getting shined on that, and so I don't know if, like, you wanted to streamline yours. So they got, like, a drug addict.
Recovering drug addict,
A recovering drug addict who's been to prison, to fill in the job for Tony Stark. And I'm glad they made that choice.
Yes. They did a great job there.
What movie are we talking about now?
Yeah, what are we talking about? So let's talk about Doctor Strange here. So the movie starts off with a different version of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he got a little ponytail.
He's got a little ponytail. He's got more white in his hair. And he's with another character, America Chavez.
Oh, I love America Chavez.
She was a good character.
Yeah.
She's she's one of my favorites.
For me, she was a character that I wish had more purpose than just being the MacGuffin.
What do you mean by MacGuffin?
She's basically the Infinity Stone of the movie.
Yeah.
The thing that's being tossed around from person to person.
That's true.
She didn't contribute too much to the plot except for she's important and we've got to protect her.
I would love if they did a series on her, of her going around in different realities.
Of
I
her
think-
looking for her.
Yeah, when you go to the
parents-
paint realm, that was
Her
kind of
parents.
fun.
That was fun. That would be so entertaining. I just want more from her. I think they cast her well. And her personality was great. Like how she would had sass with Doctor Strange and
Because she knows more about the
Yeah.
multiverse of just plopping, of going in and out of them.
she looks like a child, but she's pretty knowledgeable.
She's experienced and she's had hardship. She wants to go home, and so that kind of leaves it open to gives her that Captain America where he wants Peggy,
Right.
Yeah.
And so how is that going to happen? Is she going to find it?
Yeah. So, maybe she'll get a movie. Maybe she'll get a show. I think we'll definitely see more of her.
I think she's being built up. I think obviously Marvel hasn't really announced it yet, but I think they're building a Young Avengers team, and I think she's totally going to be on it,
You kind of need someone that, since the stones aren't there, to jump realms, especially when the multiverse is the big thing
Opening,
going
yeah.
right now and dealing with that.
Yeah, we have a lot of new younger superheroes that are joining the fray here that we're going to be running into. So yeah, I totally see that she's probably going to be entering into that sort of realm. That's kind of how I predict her future within the Marvel universe, multiverse. So then we get into Christina Palmer's wedding.
Yes, Rachel McAdams' character.
So yeah, like his Doctor Strange's little work wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
And you
It's
saw what
sad.
happened
Yeah.
in like the What If series.
Yeah.
And with Doctor Strange's story where he'd like, well, I'll just go back and fix it, or, you know, and no matter what, it won't work. And so he knows he can't be with her in
destined.
this universe.
It's similar concept with, like, in Loki's universe, how he'll always die.
He has to fail. Thor has to win, or
Yeah.
he's taken out of the line.
And so it's similar with Doctor Strange, which is sad that it's like, oh, he can never be with the one that he loves.
It's predestined.
Yeah.
It's written, you know, the fates have decided.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Right. So we get that, and then we kind of get that closure and kind of building up the overall theme and the journey Doctor Strange has to go on about him always having to do the thing. It's always got to be him doing something and not giving the reins to someone else, because he's always self-centered and feeling that nobody else can do it better than him, which you actually did see that a lot in the first Doctor Strange when they talked about the doctors, they did everything they could, and he goes, I could have done it.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's definitely, this was, in terms of Doctor Strange's storyline, it was just basically him learning how to let go.
And you're seeing that in the first sequence, how it becomes like, he's like, I'll sacrifice you to save the day.
Right.
And she's like, I don't like the, you know, and then so you see like
There is no
a
other
Doctor
way.
Strange from another universe that America Chavez encountered. And so that was, you know, so she's very apprehensive when she meets the Doctor Strange of the universe that we've been watching.
Yes.
So that's the best way of saying it.
Yes. So yeah, so then America Chavez meet our current version of Doctor Strange, because the other one had died from a crazy monster.
In this realm
like
where they're trying to get a book and like...
Yes, the other MacGuffin of the series.
Can I say, I feel bad for the people in New York in this Marvel universe. Like, seeing, like, monsters and aliens, I'd be like, I'm out of New York.
It's like that Metropolis,
Yeah.
Gotham, the city's called... Like,
If there's superheroes in your town, move.
Yeah, get out.
Get out.
that's what I saw with like Dragon Ball Z, where they're like,
Oh, yeah.
they're about to get in a fight and like, I'm God, why do I need to be here? They're just going to destroy everything. And then they're going to eat our food afterwards.
Right. So we see then there's a little monster fight, which you see the first part that makes you go, ooh, which is you see them totally pull a monster's eye out of its face.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of like, whoa, that's kind of graphic. But we get introduced to this whole concept of the multiverse. The only reference to Spider-Man is, you know, it's just, oh yeah, I did something with Spider-Man, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
does the web come out of his butt? You know,
Oh,
that's
that
kinda
was such
funny.
a great joke. Well, I don't know. I
don't
hope
know.
not.
Then everyone was imagining Tom Holland's like pooping out spider webs. Oh, Tom, you forgot to flush again. It came back and splashed at me. Come on.
So then we get introduced to basically the whole storyline about like, oh, we've got to go get the magic book that gives
We'll solve our
solves
problem.
Solve all of the problems.
It's like perfect video game reference. It's floating and it's mysterious and you don't think anyone's coming for you, but someone is there coming for you.
Right. So yeah, it's this all mysterious, powerful book that will solve everyone's problems. So that's kind of like the goal. And so they're like, well, we need help with someone that knows how to do magic, because that's how they drew a connection between how the monster came into reality was through magic. And they go, well, it's the only person we know that knows magic. Wanda. Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
And so, Doctor Strange, and you see this a lot in the trailer where they're all like, oh, you could be an Avenger again, we'll get you back on the lunchbox.
And she's so innocent.
And she's all like, oh,
calm.
yeah, maybe, I don't know. And then she kind of lets it slip that she actually sent the monster out.
But he also had like a tip. Is all like, oh boy, it's really nice here. And like, you could just tell like something was off.
Right.
And then she slipped America Chavez's name.
I didn't tell you my name. I didn't tell her.
She was all she caught herself, and she goes, you never mentioned her name, did you? And he goes, no, I did not.
And then the apple orchard like changes, and it's like
dead.
Burnt and dead, and I'm like, ooh, the villain, and like this is the true like.
Was that a surprise to you guys? I was surprised.
Yeah.
I thought they were going a different direction.
I thought they were going to work together. Right on.
I figured it was going to be a situation where she was going to be put in a situation where she had to like choose, and like she was going to be kind of like this chaotic, neutral character where she was going to do she's going to do things that benefit her over the cause of good. So like I felt like there was going to be some sort of evilness associated with her character, but I didn't expect her to be the big baddie of the movie.
No,
she was.
I saw it and they showed it, and I was like shocked, but then I was like, it makes sense. I mean, she started off as a villain in the Avengers series.
Well, even in the comic books,
yeah,
I mean, she's
a witch.
She's Magneto's daughter in the X-Men comic books.
Yeah.
So, I mean, historically, she has evil heritage. So.
Yeah.
Was she born evil?
Or was evil thrusted upon her?
So yeah, it throws you off, and then you get into this big battle scene,
right?
Where she's like, "I want this book, I want your transcript of to where she can gain more power, right?"
Right. Oh, well, she wants America Chavez so that she can go to a different universe and get her boys
where you see them from WandaVision.
Yeah, and basically replace her with from another
Was she gonna
version.
do a switch with them?
I'm assuming.
Was she gonna pull?
I'm assuming she was just gonna do a switch.
I think she was gonna stay there and just kill the other version of her.
So that's from
what I can tell. Would you kill your other version of you? No, I'm just
so then we get to the big battle at Shangri-La, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
Shangri-La, the big training ground for the sorcery arts.
It would have been cool if Spider-Man's friend was there. He was practicing.
Right, that would have been cool.
I love that scene. I thought it was a really cool like battle scene and fight scene, all of them like getting together. And then I just loved how they all have like the force field up, and Wanda is like searching their minds to find.
She's trying to find a weak point.
It really showed her power. I was all like, "Oh dang, she's like top tier."
And like when she was like, "Run," and it was just like chills.
It was like that.
Yeah.
It was definitely an intense moment.
They edited that scene so well because it was just like, ooh.
Well, you definitely get flashbacks from Avengers 2 when she was doing that to the other Avengers, when she was manipulating their minds.
I totally spaced that.
So we get the big, mystic fight, and everyone gets slaughtered.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
No mercy.
It was brutal. I mean, Doctor Strange, he confronts, and it's a good battle, and tries his best.
Yeah. It just shows like how powerful Wanda was. Like,
Wanda is considered one of the most powerful.
Do you think
beings.
Do you like her over Thanos?
Like, do you think? Well, she totally could have beat Thanos one-on-one.
But
he had stones like before stones Thanos, or stones with Thanos?
With stones.
No. Stones like changed like reality. and where he can change time, and
So you
it
prefer
it messes with her mind. She can't control what reality she's in.
Yeah.
So I think pre-Stones, she's way powerful.
Yes.
I think Wanda as a villain is like my favorite Marvel villain so far that I've seen in the movies.
I mean, we saw what she did to their like Avenger Council later in the movie.
Yes.
It just shows that like she is a whole new level.
Yeah. And it's just like, how do you control that? And it's just like, you can't control her because she doesn't do well with that.
She has to come to her conclusion, and we find that in the end of the movie, of how to solve the problem.
Right. It wasn't that anything that anybody else did. It's something that she had to come to the realization herself.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, that's how most people are. Which we can probably talk about that a little bit later when we get to that part, when we get to the message of the movie.
Oh, I love the one scene with Wanda with the mirror or the reflection.
Oh, yeah. When he puts her in, like, the reflective...
Yeah.
And then all she has to do is, like, use the pawns.
Yeah, and they're like, cover the reflections. And she, like... breaks through the reflection. I was like, ooh, creepy.
It was kind of Ring style.
Oh, yeah, totally. That was like an intense moment.
It kind of sets you up, going like, "Whoa, this is a new
style, level of like Marvel."
Yeah, it's a intense thriller. And it, you know, at the end, you go like, was that like a horror movie like I just experienced?
Right.
Yeah.
You weren't sure what you're getting yourself in. Oh, Doctor Strange, and like, whoa, what's gonna happen? And it's like, you walk out going, this is different. I'm still trying to digest it. Like, as I was preparing, like in my mind, like, what was this movie going on? And like, what's holding me back with this? And yeah, the horror movie thing was a bit different.
For sure. So yeah, everyone dies. American Chavez takes Doctor Strange to a different.
Takes him for a ride
to different realities. The paint dimension, that was fun.
That was really cool.
But while they're doing their, Wanda takes Wong to the.
Who's Wong again?
Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah.
Yes, he's not Doctor Strange is in charge because he got blipped.
Right, because he got blipped, Wong.
And they kind of they joke about that.
Yeah.
And they do that in Spider-Man, I think.
Was it? Yeah.
I think it's in Spider-Man where he's all like, "Just because I wasn't here for 5 years, I'm not Sorcerer Supreme."
Yeah.
So Wong gets taken up to where the Darkhold was written, which the Darkhold is this evil book, basically, that gives you
the Hocus Pocus book.
Pretty
with the
much.
Eyeball.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's just an evil book. So it takes her to this place where the Darkhold was written because it got destroyed, and she got angry and was going to do more damage if he didn't take her there. So he took her there, and that's kind of what she does while Doctor Strange and America Chavez go on their adventure.
Yeah.
So they go and they're trying to figure out what's going on. This new reality they're in. Pizza served in balls.
Pizza balls.
I'm like, this is a park thing.
This is gonna be a park food. Bring us pizza balls.
Totally. So yeah, we got pizza balls, and yeah. And then they find out in this new reality they're in that Doctor Strange was the one who...
He's like a martyr.
He's a martyr. He's the one that saved the day against Thanos. And so they run into a different version of Baron Mordo, which he was kind of... Doctor Strange's friend
like a mentor.
He's like a mentor / friend in the first film, and then kind of at the end decides he wants to go evil.
He's very altruistic. He's all like, "You guys lied to me. I'm deceived, and I can't be a part of this like organization. It's not what I thought it was."
Right.
And then he kind of just like, "I'm gonna go off and do my own thing,"
right.
Which we don't know. He hasn't done anything evil.
Well, they reference that like he is because. Doctor Strange talked about how, like, he's trying to kill him. Like, he's made mention of that. He did make mention of that in the movie. That the version of Baron Mordo in his universe
It's trying to kill him.
is trying to kill him.
No, as the viewer, it's not like I haven't
No,
seen
I-
anything.
they
So for
haven't.
me, I'm like,
It's true,
he
they
still has a
haven't.
chance to like.
They haven't. And so maybe that might get
It
explained.
would have been
in
funny
the
if it was
future.
like once in a while. It's kind of like how the Goblin, the Green Goblin's son, played by Franco,
Right.
is trying to avenge and be like that. I go like, yeah, he's a bad guy. He's trying to avenge his father's death.
Right.
And I'm like, I haven't seen that, and so that's kind of why I was like,
Right.
but I can see this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they set him up to be a villain in the future, or to work with a really bad villain.
Right. So here we have him in this universe. He's actually the Sorcerer Supreme, and so he invites him into the New York Sanctum for a little tea and a discussion, and he ends up drugging him.
Sneaky.
Drugging both Doctor Strange and America Chavez, and taking him to
The shocker, I didn't see this coming.
No.
the
this was-
Illuminati.
Yeah, the
I
Illuminati.
was totally
Yeah.
shocked. Yeah. First of all, I didn't even know what the Illuminati was.
The real, the real one. I mean, no, not the real one.
Not the real. We're not going to talk about.
We don't talk
No.
about Illuminati.
No.
It doesn't roll off the tongue
No.
as well.
No, but
It's
yeah.
Bruno.
Basically, the Illuminati is just an organization of these super powerful superheroes that handle cosmic issues, basically.
Yeah.
They take care of the world or universes.
Right.
Behind the scenes.
They're the ones that basically make all the major decisions for the good of everyone.
Did you like them? Did you like what you were revealed?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was fun, you know?
See
Yeah.
the Professor Xavier.
Oh, Professor Xavier, when he
Patrick Stewart
my
pulling
gosh,
up in there.
when he with the shadow was coming through, I grabbed Mark's arm and I squeezed. I was like, I was like,
Oh,
no, they didn't.
So you were not spoiled by the trailer.
I was not
Okay.
spoiled.
Don't know if
didn't-
I thought I saw the trailer or not. But
I didn't watch the
You
trailer.
heard his voice in the
I may have,
trailer.
yeah, I'm not sure.
They didn't show him, but you heard his voice. And
Yeah,
it was
so
like,
I didn't
oh,
watch the
okay.
trailer before, and so it was all new to me, and so I was pretty excited to see him. I was like, ooh, they're mixing X-Men in this
They
universe.
got access to that,
They have him now. So, yeah, so they had him show up. They had Black Bolt, which he's a part of the Inhumans. I was trying to remember that from our prior discussion when we were talking about...
with Moonwalker.
With Moonwalker, yeah.
That's what fun.
Moon Knight. With Moon Knight. But yeah, Black Bolt's part of the Inhumans, which is different than X-Men. X-Men is it's they're evolving, whereas Inhumans it's already a part of their DNA. Like they are ancestors of a certain alien race that their powers are activated by some sort of powder
like
or
a
chemical
trigger,
reaction.
a trigger of
yeah.
some sort, a catalyst.
So yeah, we had Black Bolt.
You had the fork tune guy.
That's Black Bolt. Yeah.
That's Black
yeah.
Bolt.
That's
Oh, I
Black
thought I
Bolt.
called him like the
the
tuning fork.
Yeah, that's Black Bolt.
Okay.
I
I couldn't tell. I was looking at the actor and I just see the mouth and I'm just like, I don't recognize him. It's like when you meet someone when they're wearing a mask and they're like, oh, that's what you normally look like.
Right.
When did you shave your beard? I never had a beard. Like,
Oh.
oh.
They had Haley Atwell playing Captain Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Britain.
She was in the What If series.
She was. I was like, oh, cool. They brought in the What If
Yeah.
series.
I liked her a lot.
She was great. Then they had the different version of Captain Marvel.
I love this Captain Marvel over.
Everybody likes this Captain Marvel over Brie. What was it, Brie Larson?
Yeah, Brie
Yeah.
Larson. Yeah.
It's like she could keep doing the Nissan commercials. I think she's great at that. But like Captain Marvel's like, meh.
Eh.
And then finally, we had John Krasinski.
Jim!
Yes.
From
Yeah.
The Office.
Jim from The Office. He came in. This was one of the biggest, fan service, fans begging for this casting to play Mr. Fantastic.
So why was this such a big deal? Was it just
Because fans looked at him and said he would fit the role perfectly.
Yeah.
They figured
Because Horatio Hornblower, like, he's a little old for that.
he's a little old for that. Yeah.
I'm referencing a TV show from, like, the early 2000s.
Yeah. Maybe late 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, which actually there was a funny meme that said like, oh, finally John Krasinski's in the MCU, and then somebody goes, no, he's been in the MCU for years, and they go to the FBI agent from like Ant-Man and the Wasp and WandaVision, the Asian guy, because he plays Jim as a prank in the office.
Oh
that's
my
so
goodness.
good.
And so
Asian
like,
Jim.
He's Asian Jim. That's it.
Oh
and
my
so like
goodness,
they like
yes.
he's been in the MCU for years.
That was well done.
So it was great to see him in that role, and I thought it was great how like they're trying to like basically tell Doctor Strange, we're gonna kill you. You're too dangerous.
Yeah.
Because ours was too dangerous, and we've seen he's consumed with power.
Right.
He can't handle it.
And so they said, well, Wanda, you're going to need as much help as you can for Wanda. We'll take care of the witch.
Oh, yeah. They were like, oh, we're not worried about her. And I was like...
It was like Carrie 2.0, where she's just like coming in and just like...
Decimating.
So like you're just like...
So like you come in, you have the big Illuminati fight, and like...
That was such an intense fight
Captain
scene.
Carter one was just like... She just cut her in half. Like,
yeah.
She
with
got
her
cut
that
in
was
half.
crazy.
Obviously, it started with Black Bolt. Like, he's about to use his vocal powers to disintegrate her. And he's like, oh, one open of his mouth and you're gone. What mouth? And she's totally, like, wiped his mouth away. And he's just...
His brain blows up. And you're just like, oh my gosh.
But you see his head explode.
Yeah.
It was like... was it Mars Attacks?
Yes.
Yes. Listen to that country music and then the brains would blow up.
Yes, that's exactly what that was. And so, like, that was intense. And then you saw, Mr. Fantastic turn into spaghetti something.
So I
balloon.
saw a toy online where someone did his action figure and there were balloons shredded up. And someone goes, savage.
Oh, yeah, it was like, okay, well, that's one way to go. Then, we see Captain Carter gets totally sliced in half. And then we get
Professor Xavier.
Captain Marvel just gets crushed.
Oh, yeah.
She just gets crushed, so
Yeah.
her death isn't that fantastic. But then we have, like, the big scene with Professor X, and I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, he goes into her mind trying to get...
To pull Wanda out because she's
been trapped.
She's been corrupted by the
Yeah.
Darkhold, and so that's been keeping herself hostage.
That was a cool scene.
That was
a good scene of like how the mind works, and
right,
and how Professor Xavier
and then all of a
works.
sudden you see her come and totally snap his neck, and it was like, no!
Yeah.
You killed Captain Picard right in front of us.
I know, like I honestly like that moment made me jaw drop right there.
It's pretty crazy because they bring in all of these cool characters. You're like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then she kills them all, and you're like...
Without that much effort.
No, and you're just like...
It was a
She
lot of
just did
death
that.
quickly. Like, we didn't even get that with Thanos. It was like a little bit here and there.
But it
But
was,
it was
just
like,
instant.
boom. You're just like, okay, within 5 minutes, you just killed off all these characters.
The power of a mother,
That was always a running statement right there.
So, and then, Doctor Strange and Mordo have a little tiff fight that's not very memorable.
It's not.
And then they end up jumping town. They get sent out to another dimension.
Where they're able to get the book next. They go from that building to get to the, like, weird book. Like, they go through these tunnels and...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that here? It was
Yeah.
here. Yeah, so, like, they try to go get the book. That's right. So they go to get the good MacGuffin, the good book. And so they're being chased by Wanda.
It's a good
I
classic
like
chase
the
scene.
ones chasing where, like, they think they stopped her and, like...
And
Where'd
she's like
she
totally
go?
like destroying walls like they're nothing, and it's like this wall is different.
And they
Yeah, right.
stop, and they just stare, and I'm like, keep running, guys. Keep running.
Right. And then they come on the secret door, which is triggered by Doctor Strange's
His
watch from
Yeah.
Christina Palmer, his broken watch. And so that door opens there, and they're able to make it to the good MacGuffin, and it instantly gets destroyed by Wanda. Wanda destroys it.
Which I'm glad, because I don't like those, like, easy solutions.
I agree. Like, it's the fact
I kind of wanted to end because I really had to go pee at that moment. And I was like, well, we're not. Okay, it's time for me to go.
Still going. So, yeah, the book gets destroyed, and so America Chavez takes Doctor Strange to another dimension, where then Wanda, she still goes on the search for...
But Wanda, but we didn't even bring up one thing. The Wanda that's chasing is the Wanda that's been switched.
Right.
Yes.
So yes, we
which is crazy because she's like in normal clothes but barefoot because she was at home.
Yeah, she was all like, I was just being like soccer mom Wanda, and you took me out, and so this was like, I need to get back to my kids.
Yeah.
And get that Wanda that took my kids away from me.
Right.
You know, put her back wherever she needs to go.
That whole scene with, like, the Wanda attacking, like, that was a scene that was like, maybe this is on the border of, like, R and, like, PG-13.
I think that's where we all questioned. I was all like, this is a hard PG-13. Like,
yes.
Kids under 13 should not really watch
without
this.
adult supervision.
And
yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
But like after 13, like you think about 13, could you think you could have handled it? And I think, yeah, for the most part, I wouldn't have gotten nightmares or been traumatized.
Yeah.
That Wanda was going to take my mom, or like the witch mom from another universe was going to switch it out with my mom. Like, I didn't think that was going to happen, you know?
Right.
But 6-year-old me, oh yeah. I was like, when that T-Rex came out and I was watching it on like our little like tube TV, I thought it was the scariest thing. I don't think my heart has ever beat so hard in my life when I watched Jurassic Park for the first time on a TV.
On a, like, what is it, like our 10-inch TV?
It was the 10-inch. It was before the Magnavox TV.
Yeah.
So it was like I was just scared. And I remember Mom's just like, "Are you doing all right?" Like, yeah, I'm okay. And Mom was like, "Are you all right, Peter?" Like, "I'm thinking." Like, 'cause that's what you said when you're sleeping. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Peter's not even watching this. I'm all by myself. There's monsters on this TV."
Right. So Wanda has the power to kind of like puppeteer other versions of herself.
Yeah.
But it's not that she's there. She's just controlling the other version of herself. And so their fight over the book takes place. America Chavez and Doctor Strange go through another dimension, and then Wanda kind of releases the hold on that Wanda. And that Wanda goes, "Oh, my kids," and she runs home.
Yeah.
And so then the story kind of like transitions to focus back on Doctor Strange, America Chavez, and this new dark dimension that they're in, where they meet a dark Doctor Strange.
America Chavez is not in that scene.
Is she not?
No.
Oh, that's right. Wanda
took her.
She took her because she's like a human sacrifice to like.
That's right.
She had her on like the table.
You're right. So
it was just Dr. Christine.
That's right. And
Dr.
That's
Strange.
when you learn like in this universe they've named the different universes,
right?
And that the Doctor Strange we know is universe 616.
Yes.
And so
that 636. I don't know. I forget what the number was.
Yeah, but it was like something 66. And so it's like you're I heard people complain, like comic bookers, like, "Oh great, now everyone's going to be talking about this universe. They're going to label this number because of this one scene." But it's like, oh, good. They've kind of cataloged, what universes is.
It's easier to follow.
Yeah.
So that's right. America Chavez, she's now with Wanda back in our known universe.
Yeah.
The universe that we're used to.
And it kind of switches what Doctor Strange is trying to do, where he's like, "No, I have to get her.
Right.
Because I promised her I would watch her."
So he's going for...
But yeah, Doctor Strange and Christina, the alternate version of Christina Palmer, gets sent to this dark dimension where Doctor Strange he's evil.
Destroyed his world.
He's in this nihilist state where he's by himself and it's dark.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was necessarily evil, but Being alone can really mess with your mind.
His universe was falling apart.
Because he did something to it.
Yeah.
I forgot
it was collapsing in on itself.
Yeah, through whatever. And this Doctor Strange has a third eye.
Yes, he had the...
Because he read the book.
He read
he
from
consumed
the Darkhold.
Yeah, and you see that third eye appear in the What If episode with Doctor Strange. And people are wondering if he was going to meet that guy.
Right.
To help him in this movie. That was kind of like the rumor circulating.
But I don't think it's the same one.
I don't think it's the same either.
Not the same one.
No.
I think it's a different Doctor Strange. So then they have a little Doctor Strange off, and we have a music fight.
Battle of the lyrics.
The music fight was so fun.
It took me out.
It took me out. It was honestly,
it was clever.
It was cool, but it was kind of like...
I wish they picked...
I feel like I was dumb during this scene or something.
I wish they picked different music, but I liked how they
Little
used
Master
them.
Puppets from Metallica.
Why not? Why not? Make Doctor Strange a little more edgy.
But yeah, it was just kind of like, okay, we're in agreement that we're only going to use music sorcery right now. Like, all other sorcery. No, this is a music fight. We're going to throw music notes at each other. It's like, all right.
Doctor Strange was probably like reading the book and he goes, that's cool, I could use music to fight, but like, when will I ever do this? And he goes, when I find myself.
And the other Doctor Strange's like, oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Mozart walks in and you're like, oh no, we're gonna lose.
So yeah, we have that show off, and our Doctor Strange ends up winning in the end.
I like how we call them ours.
Yeah.
Because it's our universe.
It's our universe. Let's just...
Because we have Spider-Mans and Iron Man.
Right. He's ours. He's our Doctor Strange. He's the one that the story's centered around. But, he learns... He learns from the Darkhold, because they have the Darkhold in that universe, and so he learns the power to puppetry like Wanda was doing, and there's a dead Doctor Strange from the very beginning of the movie that
was Zombie Doctor Strange.
That was kind of
weird. They're gonna bring Zombie Doctor Strange.
Well, they have a
to
show
the
called
Halloween.
The Zombie, like...
I think they're doing. I think they're doing a Marvel Zombies
episode, because we saw something in the What If series.
Yeah, I think they're gonna bring Zombie Doctor Strange to the Halloween party at.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that's a pretty dark character. How he used like the demons to turn into giant wings. Like,
so he does what Wanda did was, take the body of that realm.
Right.
I liked it when Wanda was like hypocrite, like.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's bad when I do it, but when you do it, it's like, I'm trying to beat you. You're the bad guy here.
Right. It's like, this guy's dead, okay? This guy was already dead. But, like, there was that weird interaction with something kind of, like, calling out Doctor Strange for taking possession of the dead.
Yeah.
There was that whole thing. I think that might be alluding to more of, like, a Blade situation. Possibly. Okay. Connection. When we're dealing with vampires and the dead and things like that.
Yeah, and I kept thinking of, like, Once Upon a Time with Mr. Gold, where, like, all magic comes with a price. Or, like, it all comes with a price, and it always, like, stuck with me. It's like, what's the price of playing in the pool of the dead?
I mean, it goes
and the dark evil. Because look at Wanda, she's consumed in it.
Right, and it always, goes back to what, Baron Mordo always says, and he goes, the bill comes due.
Yeah.
The bill comes due. But yeah, they have their big show off, and then, Dr. Wong has a moment where he says, take her powers, take America Chavez powers, it's the only way.
I liked him in the final battle, too.
Yeah.
He's a good sidekick leader, I guess.
Yeah. Right. And then, Doctor Strange, he goes against, his internal desires of wanting to be in control and doing things himself, and he says, no, you have the power, America. You can do this.
Do it.
And so she does. She comes and she goes, you want it? Here you go.
She was like, oh, I can't beat you, but I'll give you what you want.
Right.
It's kind of like a Jedi Force kind of moment. So, like, it's in you.
Yeah.
It's like every time you sent us through, you always sent us to where we needed to be. And so that was kind of like a cool moment. So then, Wanda gets to see, her two kids.
Such a cool scene.
And so you have that moment where she's going to kill the alternate version of herself, and then to see the terror in the boy's face.
I killed your mother. Come to mama.
Right. And as her face is all looking all crazy, and it's like, no, you're a monster.
And the whole scene of like, oh boys, like I would never hurt you. Like, don't be afraid. I wouldn't hurt anyone.
I wouldn't hurt
myself.
And then she said, I wouldn't hurt anyone. And the boys like look at their mom and like,
Right.
And that's when she has her aha moment. And
it's kind of like when Doctor Strange had that aha moment, like, I can't change what has happened. I can't bring people back.
Correct. From the What If series.
Yeah.
So then, she kind of has that awakening, and then she says, she destroys the temple that they're in so that nobody else can abuse the dark hold in their
Because it was
realm.
a temple dedicated for her, really.
It was cool. It was dedicated for her.
I thought she closed the dark hold in all.
She may have. I think she did. I think that's what happened. Is that because Doctor Strange was still in that dark universe, and that dark hold disappeared. At that point, and then America Chavez comes and saves them. And brings them back to where they belong. So.
Do you think Wanda is gone?
Do you think she's dead? No, there's no way she's gone.
Wanda's gone.
I think she's hidden.
I think
she pulled a Hulk where she's fighting Gladiator style.
I think she's
maybe.
I think she'll show up again, probably
right before the big bad guy comes.
Something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if she leaves Earth to go somewhere else.
She's too powerful. It's like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
In this universe we've been watching, where it's like you can't be on Earth. You're just too powerful.
Right.
You blow through everything. It's like using a nuclear bomb to solve, I can't open this can. Boom! And you're like, well, I wanted that food. Thanks a lot, Captain.
Right.
Yeah.
Go fix somebody else's problem.
I think she'll be present. She's not going to be a good guy, but I don't think she's going to be, a baddie. She's just going to be just doing her own thing.
She could be a tool when she sees an injustice that can be fixed.
That she believes in.
Right. So, yeah, I don't see...
So you think she's chaotic neutral again?
Yes.
I think she's gonna go back to bring
Vision?
No, what's her face in the Wanda series?
Oh, the witch?
The witch.
The good witch? The one with the great wink meme?
Yeah.
Or the gif?
She's coming back.
She's getting her own show,
Agatha.
Yeah. Agatha. I think that's when we're gonna see Wanda again, is with Agatha.
She's gonna be her sidekick.
I don't know. Well,
she'd be.
I think Agatha.
Agatha doesn't like Wanda.
Well, it's not that she doesn't like her. It's more of she wants her powers.
She wants what she's got, but that's like the Sith, right? You keep your enemy close,
right?
But you always smack them, put them in check. I'm still powerful.
I think this is going to be a scenario. I think if I had to guess, the Agatha series is going to be the prequel to WandaVision.
Mm.
Is going to be her journey leading up to WandaVision.
Okay. And there's something going on over here. This is some real power right here,
right?
Which would be a good show. I would look forward to watching that because it's historical. Because they did a good job with the Salem witch trial.
Yeah.
I still wish they had the Sinister Sisters in that episode. That would have been
great.
That would have been
sisters.
Different universe.
Is it?
We don't know. It's Disney owned, so you could do anything.
We'll see what happens in Hocus Pocus 2, I
just want an Agatha wink, oh, you're back.
Right. So then we move on. America Chavez is now training to be a sorceress.
That's cool.
So
a little mini Doctor Strange.
She'll do her own thing.
Yeah.
And then we find out Doctor Strange, because he was read from the Darkhold, he has a third eye. He's got the third eye.
Yeah.
And then we get into the mid-credit scene.
It'd be awkward if you needed glasses for the
I'll
third
tell you
eye.
this. The third eye
Eye
looked
patch.
weird. The third eye looked weird.
It throws me off.
It didn't look right. Like,
Did you have like a Scorpion King
I
Roth
did.
moment?
I did.
You're
I did
like,
have.
Took me out.
Yes, I felt like it just didn't work. It looked really fake.
Because it like blends in, but then it pops out when it wants to.
Right.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
the Spider-Man's webs, like the Peter Parker, the first one, Tobey Maguire,
Tobey, yeah.
where it like
Yeah.
it comes out and shoots up, but then it seals up when you don't need it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very much. It was like, yeah. It always took me out every time I saw the third
I'm
eye.
curious what that's gonna be like in future. Or, yeah, the third eye kind of threw me out.
Because Charlize Theron, if you scroll down, I forgot what her name was,
Clea.
Clea comes up.
So she's got an important role of like, oh, I know you have this power, I'm going to use
Well,
you.
Clea is in the comics
He-
Doctor Strange's
Wife.
wife.
Oh,
So this is gonna be his. Traditionally, it's
love
always been.
story.
Traditionally, Clea's always been his love interest in the comic books, and that.
But we haven't been introduced to that.
We haven't been
No.
introduced to her. Apparently, she's from the same dimension as Dormammu.
What's that? Or who's that?
That was the kind of like the big baddie from the first Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
The one that says like, stop doing the repeat
right,
thing.
same dimension
Okay.
as him. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm curious. I really don't know much about her, so I'm curious what she brings to the story.
and how that will impact everything. Again, we're
Yeah.
going into multiverse.
It's kind of like that Doc Brown
Weird.
moments of like you finish the problem and then we've got a problem, your kids. So it's like what's Clea wanting him to fix?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the actions that took place in this movie had an impact in other dimensions, and so
Back to the Future 2. Right?
Back to the Future too. So we'll probably get more info into that probably in the future. But Mickey bars.
Yeah, Mickey Bars.
Mickey bars.
I give it 3.5, and I give it potential for more when I see how this contributes.
How it ties in.
It's like it entertains, so that gets
Yeah.
me 3, where it's all like I can see myself watching again. But 5 for like creativeness with the story, but it doesn't get 4 because there's quite a few moments that take me out of just because it's too much like horror, creepy zombie, like flying black, like spawn ghosts.
Right.
That I was like, well, this is a little weird for me, and that just made me personal. But that's why I say 3.5 Mickey bars.
I agree with you, 3.5, but closer to 4. I really loved WandaVision. I think she stole the movie.
I think so too.
I
I'm surprised.
think-
Like, why isn't her name on this?
It was basically a WandaVision movie.
This is Wanda's movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as we want to say that it was Doctor Strange's movie, it was Wanda's movie.
always
And
about-
I you know, after the Wanda series and this movie, like, I'm a fan of Wanda.
Yeah, she puts herself in that like god tier level, like powers where it's all like, yeah, the Civil War. It's like you really shouldn't have been there because you could have just like, as we saw, blew up the Illuminati when you really needed to.
Right. So, I would put myself at a 3. It was enjoyable. I liked it.
Do you see yourself liking it more in the future?
I might
if it
like
ties
it
in
and-
better.
Yeah,
Correct.
I agree. Yeah.
It's one of those things. I know this is like
a bridge.
a build up. Like this is a foundation building movie, and so we'll see where things go. This movie could have major implications. It might have no implications.
I think
in
it
the
will.
future.
They brought
It probably
in Clea.
will.
The spoiler, not spoiler, the after credit scene says like it's connected.
Right.
It's a build up.
I love like the end credit with Pizza Papa.
Yeah, the
He's
Bruce
like,
Campbell.
and he goes, "It's over," and I go, "Touche."
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, well, just like Bruce Campbell,
It's over.
it's over, folks. So if you tell us what you liked about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, you can email us at matterhornyodos@gmail.com. You can follow us on any of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, just let us know what you thought of pizza balls. You want a pizza ball?
I want a pizza ball.
I want a pizza ball.
Sounds good. That just it needs to be in the park.
I think so. Let's get some pizza balls and at the Disney parks here. All right. Until next time, Auf Wiedersehen. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember...
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.